Rudderless. When did you see this movie? Did you see it when it came out, or did you hear about it somewhere, or what?
It was within a year or so of it coming out. It must have been pretty close. I think honestly, I just saw it on an ad on YouTube. The most random place to hear about it. I was just kind of sitting in my apartment. I had like a one bedroom apartment at the time, and I remember I was just kind of going through YouTube, and it advertised this movie, and I don't remember what it was about it, but I was like, that looks pretty good. I could use something to watch tonight. And so I ended up finding it and watching it. And it's one of those movies where like I really liked it when I first watched it, but every time I've rewatched it, it's like that love just grows. And so there was something about it, something about the soundtrack and the way that the twist or the reveal or whatever kind of hits you. And I thought it's one of those movies that has just like a perfect ending, just a perfect note to end on, no pun intended. And so I just kept having this desire to keep going back to it. And so I probably watched it 15 times at this point. But yeah, it was just one of those little hidden gems that I honestly think it was just a YouTube ad. Otherwise, I would have never heard about it.
Yeah, see, obviously the first time I heard about it was from you. You've spoken about the movie a million times now.
I think I'm
And
responsible for at least half of the people who have seen the film.
shit, if not three-quarters of them. Um, but yeah, so I watched it for the first time probably, hell, it might have been a year ago or so. It was around the time Deadpool and Wolverine came out.
Mhm.
And it was a time where I just started doing my reviews, but I was doing them on Twitter, so I was trying to get something up. I was too shy to come on YouTube yet,
Mhm.
and I was like, well, shit, look, I had just watched Aliens and Alien for the very first time,
Oh
but while I
man.
was watching them, I was in the process of rearranging my house and doing all kinds of weird shit. So I turned on Rudderless, and I knew I loved the movie, the parts that I seen, but I honestly didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it.
Mhm.
And then I think within the past month or so, I've been looking for it on Blu-ray. That way I can watch it at home. It's gone,
Yeah, you got to find like a foreign Blu-ray or a foreign
dude.
release for it. It is, I think, on Amazon Prime for a digital release, but yeah, for physical, I think I snuck in and got the one Blu-ray for the 4 days
Ever
that they had
made.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm jealous of that limited edition that Chuck got you.
Mhm.
I seen that on your thing. I went to go buy it actually, and it's like 66 fucking dollars.
So worth it.
Yeah, but I don't make a whole lot of money, dude.
I get it. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
But but yeah, so I watched it again about a month ago or so, and I watched it with my girlfriend. I actually bought it digitally. I hate doing that, but I bought it
Hmm.
digitally and watched it with her. She might be the only person I've ever heard of that's watched it and did not like it, unfortunately. I know, sin. But yeah, so she didn't really care for it, but I
Mm.
fell in love with it like all over again. And the ending hit me really, really hard. There she is. Anyway, the
Speak of the devil.
yeah. But yeah, so the ending hit me really hard, and what's really messed up was the revelation of the twist with when I first, realized it was like Selena Gomez tells him, "Hey, it's messed up what you're doing." And like you said in one video, you was like it come off like maybe she's offended by the plagiarism.
Yeah.
But then, the next scene, hard cut, by the way, the graffiti calling his son a killer,
Hmm.
and it's revealed to the audience that his son was actually the shooter of the school. When I first watched it, I was like, damn, so he didn't know that his son was a shooter the whole time? And then
Uh-huh.
I was like, wait a minute, no, he knows. That's a reveal to us, not him,
Hmm.
obviously. And then at the end, when he takes his son's song, it comes full circle. The movie opens with that song and closes with that song. And then I guess I would assume that the son never finished writing the song, so he finished writing it.
Yeah, so the whole movie, he's taking these completed songs from his son's, little CD collection in his notebook or whatever, and he's inadvertently kind of passing them off as his own, or at least
Right,
taking the credit for it somewhat, whether he directly says this, I wrote the song or not, everybody just assumes and he doesn't correct anybody. And
right.
then the end, what makes it powerful is that you had the one song that he didn't finish. It was one that he was working on, and then, the tragedy happened or whatever. And so the majority of that song actually is the first thing that is Billy Crudup's character's song,
Right.
but he immediately opens it up with "This was my son's song," and so it's kind of like him in a way giving it back, and the whole song, like, it kind of has a double meaning the whole time that you're listening to it. So yeah, it's just so much wrapped up in that final song and the
It
ending, and then just I love the moment where he gets, he sees everybody's emotional reaction, and then he just walks off, and you just see the microphone and the stool, and then it's
yeah.
over.
I thought it was amazing, and
Mhm,
it's one of the best soundtracks to a movie. It's one that here recently at work I've been listening to that a lot, and like I
mhm,
you probably can't barely see it, but I play guitar. It's hanging up over there. And then just today I came home after I got off, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn Over Your Shoulder and Sing Along, which is the title of the last song.
mhm,
Um, yeah, I loved just like you said how the movie wrapped up. The him playing all these songs that are his sons that are fully completed and everything, and then finishing the movie, and I guess his journey with performing his son's songs with
mhm.
the last song that he was actually able to finish writing for him to him. Yeah, I thought that was beautifully done and constructed. I think William H. Macy's a genius in that regard. Not only does the ending hit especially hard for me, it was so messed up, and how I didn't know this is crazy. I texted my dad immediately after the next day and told him, I was like, hey, I bought Rudderless. It's on your Voodoo account, which I put all your damn movies on. Go watch it. Like, now
Mhm.
you have no excuses. It's there. And then he said, yeah, I love Anton Yelchin. Too bad he passed away. I was like, huh?
Oh, yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah,
I
it
did not know that, dude.
was about
I
a
mean,
decade or so. Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's crazy. It was like, especially the way my dad talks, he texted me how he died. And I
Mhm.
was like, the hell you write me a Final Destination plot? Like,
As crazy as it seems, yeah, that is kind of the way that he died was like a Final Destination movie. It was jacked up.
besides the obvious theme and story of the movie, what are some, I guess, happier moments of the movie? Because you look at the movie, it is pretty dark and unsettling, very uncomfortable type of movie.
Mhm.
What are some brighter moments that you get out of that movie?
I think the brightest thing, honestly, is that, like, you don't I like the fact that the movie doesn't really spell out for you what exactly was the issue, if there was an issue with Josh, the son.
Right.
Did he not have much of a relationship with his dad or his parents? Like, you get the indication that he wants to hang out with them more now, but maybe he's in college and he's like, man, I don't know. Like, that time has passed. Like, you can kind of fill in the blanks yourself. But regardless,
Mm,
you have this father who now has this giant void where his son isn't there anymore, and it's caused his life to literally spiral. And to me, the brightest spot in the movie is that he kind of tries to fill that void with being a father figure to Anton Yelchin's character, who very clearly didn't have much or any guidance at all the more you find out about him.
right.
And
And they show
so,
you with his mom and everything too. So,
yeah, exactly. And so you have this kid that clearly has a love and a passion for music, but just doesn't have anybody to encourage him or to push him or to make him do the uncomfortable thing to make him get out there. And so that whole relationship in the movie to me is really what makes it where he doesn't really want anything to do with him at first. And the Anton Yelchin is the one who's kind of being the overbearing, like, nagging personality. And then finally he kind of starts to get into it, and then that role kind of reverses where he's like, no, you're going to get on stage, no, you're going to do this, you're going to go
right.
talk to those girls, we're going to do this. And then even at the very end, again, I like the fact that you don't exactly know where everybody's going to go after that. They give you enough of an idea that, of course, he gives him the guitar, kind of reawakens his love for music, tells him to keep going, quitters never win.
Right.
And he clearly gets back together with the band and they're doing their own thing. Do they ever meet back up with Sam again? Who knows? He's clearly bought the music store, so he's going to be kind of a mainstay in that side of that industry in that little town somehow. But yeah, it's just the way that he kind of finishes that song at the end, and fills that void of that last piece of music for his son. It feels like he also fills that void kind of in his heart by leading this kid down a good path when whether it was his fault or just the way that the cookie crumbled, his biological son got led down a bad path.
Right, in a much almost in a lighter way, but also in a pretty darker way with
Hmm.
like Joel and Sarah and Joel and Ellie.
Yep.
That's kind of that same type of relationship, and it's like Billy Crudup's character is like he's you can't tell what kind of person he is the whole movie. You can make assumptions, you can judge him,
Hmm.
but he really also never lets you know who he truly is. Now that doesn't mean he's a bad guy or anything, but
Hmm.
he's like a high rich CEO or something of a company or one of the higher ups in that company, and then out of nowhere he's always on the brink of leaving. Like the whole movie, he's on the brink of going. Anytime him and the band perform his son's song, he feels safe and stayed while they're performing, but as soon as they're done, he's ready to get out of there. Or
Hmm.
kind of the reason he lives on a boat is because he's always on the brink of escaping. Like he could just easily get out and no one notice.
Yeah.
And then at the end, like just like you said, he bought the music shop. He's grown that care for um why am I forgetting the kid's name? But Anton Yelchin's character's he grows that care for him and he wants to be around, but he's giving him that distance. And then of course the band still stays a band. They hire in a new lead singer or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, dude, I absolutely love the movie. One of, it's definitely in my top 10 now. It's one of the most rewatchable movies too, for as dark as it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Super rewatchable.
It is.
Um,
Yeah, it's one of those ones that like every time I rewatch it, it climbs. I think this was years ago when I did my top 100 movies. It was in like the top 25 or something. I think if I was to do that today, it would skate into the top 10 easily. It's just one of those movies where, and I think talking about movies online has made me even more this way. Where hidden gems like that, I tend to appreciate them even more. Even though my number one movie of all time is Die Hard, there's not a soul on earth that doesn't know what that movie is. But I think because I'm always like not necessarily trapped, but I'm always kind of pushed into having to talk about the movies that everybody knows. It's like talk
right.
about Halloween again, and I'm like, what else is there for me to say? But then you have a movie like that where I've never met a single person where I bring that up and they go, "Oh yeah, that's a good one." They're always like, "Huh? What? Okay, I'll keep an eye out for that one." And there's something fun about that. So the
Yeah,
fact that I think it's just a brilliant movie, it's like it's literally flawless. There's nothing about it that I would change.
yeah.
And it's a hidden gem. And getting to tell William H Macy himself that how much I loved it kind of even reinforced it a little bit because I could tell how much he appreciated it, which was really cool.
Dude, I was finna call you. I was literally just finna say you're like the luckiest bastard in the world. You got to tell William H. Macy that how important Rudderless is to you, and from what you said, you made his knees weak.
That's what he
That's
said. That was literally the words that he said. So I don't know if how honest he was. It seemed earnest, but
oh, I can
I
imagine.
I figured unless he's just the total opposite type of person that I assume that he is, which you never know with actors or whatever. They could be douchebags and play somebody that you think is really cool. But I knew if I got a chance to tell him how much that movie meant to me, I would probably be one of, if not the only person that walked up and said that to him. Not because the movie's bad and everybody hates on it, but it's just such an underknown, float under the radar movie that's like if he had 20 guesses of what thing that he worked on that I loved, I don't think he would ever guess that. And you could tell by the way that his face changed. So like I had maybe a little bit too long of a build up. But I was telling you, hey, this is my wife. I'm Cody or whatever. I wanted to make sure. I said, of all the people in this room, I said, if I got a chance to talk to you, I wanted to tell you how important this film is to me. I'm on YouTube and I've been talking about movies for almost 10 years. And there's one film that I always try to tell people about. It's like a hidden gem that means so much to me. And I'm saying this and I can hear him like, or I can like see his face like scrunched up at me, like, where
What
is
the
he
hell is he
going
finna
with
say?
this? Like, what is he gonna say? And when I said rudderless, he literally went like you just feel like his whole body like, whoa. And so
Shifted.
yeah, and so I don't think in a million years he thought I was gonna say that. But yeah, he said my knees or my legs are weak or whatever like that. So you could tell. I wish I could talk to him a little bit longer about it. Maybe one day I will be able to. But it
How
was a
you and
very
Chuck keep
cool.
going?
Yeah, exactly. It was a very cool moment for me because I could tell he appreciated that. Like I might have been the only person on earth that ever said something like that about that film. And he hasn't directed much. I think he's only directed like 2 films. The other one's not nearly as good. But but Rudderless, yeah, that was one where I'm like, okay, that's like a bucket list thing, and cross that off the list now.
Yeah, dude, um I'm incredibly happy for you, yet
Mhm.
also at the same time I'm like, damn, why you? But without you, half the damn audience who knows that movie wouldn't have seen it. So of
Mhm,
course you.
mhm. It feels that
Um,
way. I'd be curious to know the numbers,
wouldn't
'cause
it be
yeah,
great if there was like an actual ratio, like you could actually see it?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um, oh yeah, and just one thing, if I had, I mean, I agree, it is damn near a flawless, as Chuck would say, a flawless 10 out of 10 masterpiece
Chuck
or
says that a
flawless
lot.
masterpiece. Um, but if I had to nitpick one thing, it's not even a negative. It was just super funny, and it's something that me and my girlfriend laughed about pretty hard when it happened. When when Billy Crudup's on the ladder and he's sitting there painting, and the guy he works with comes up to him, he's telling him like, "Hey, so and so told me about your band." And he's like, "What?" And he's trying to play it off.
Mm.
The d- the dude's the dude says, "So, my kid's sister."
I think he says my kid sister, like my baby sister, my little sister. I could be wrong. I could be
Oh,
wrong, but I
well,
think
that
that's
would
what he
make
said.
sense.
I think that's what he said. Yeah. But it wouldn't
Oh,
be the first time. You might be right. I'll keep an eye out for that. But it wouldn't be the first time somebody flubbed a line and it made it through the edit and everything like that.
it's just some. You know what? He probably did say like my kid's sister,
Hmm.
but and as stupid as it is, it was just so funny in the moment. It's one of those things you just can't unhear.
Yep.
I thought it was hilarious.